Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing another community support video for Tony Sanders, 250 subscribers, and I'm going to sort of kill two birds with one stone by showcasing my top 25 Golden Age comic books, which is a video I've been wanting to do, and Tony's challenge for his 250 subscribers is to show 25 books, so the timing was right, so I'm just going to combine the ideas and put out this video. If you haven't already subscribed to Tony Sanders, I suggest you do so now, although probably anybody subscribed to me is probably already subscribed to Tony. I think it was about a month ago where, maybe a little bit longer than a month ago, I put out my first community support video for Tony's 100 subscribers, and now he's already past 250, and last time I checked, I think he's past 330, so I think he's on his way to 350, so that's really, really awesome. Congrats, Tony. Great guy, great channel. He's starting to do some more live stream type stuff and collabs with other channels, so definitely a channel that you want to check out in the comic book community. So apologies also in advance if you hear any noise. It's an extremely windy day here in New York, cold and windy, so the wind has been howling, so if you hear that in the background, now you know why. Okay, so I'm going to get right into my top 25 Golden Age comic books. These are going to be in no particular order. I'm going to show the raw books first, and then I'm going to show my Golden Age slabs. Again, I don't have a top order. Really hard for me to choose an order among these books, so I'm just going to cop out and just say these are in no particular order, but I hope you enjoy them. Okay, so to kick things off, it's DELL 4-color 456, so Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge, Back to the Klondike. Pretty cool Disney book. Next up, we've got some of my pre-code, Golden Age pre-code horror books. Started off with Tales of Horror number 11. So very few copies of that book in the CGC census, and I was able to pick this up recently from Mill Geek, so RUSS from the Comic Tom channel. Happy to pick that up. Great cover. Then we also have Spellbound number 16. More pre-code horror goodness. And Black Magic number, I want to say this is number 5 from volume 2. If it isn't, I will correct it in the edit, but there you go. That's a Jack Kirby cover. Next up, we've got a couple Alex Schomburg covers from the Golden Age, of which, you know, there will be more later and when I start pulling out the slabs, but this is Fantastic Story magazine. It's a thrilling publication. It's an Alex Schomburg sci-fi cover. And there's that Howling Wind. All right. And next up, another Alex Schomburg cover. This time we got Startling Comics 43, featuring the Fighting Yank, Super Patriot. I love that cover. Schomburg's my favorite Golden Age cover artist, and I'm starting to grow out that piece of my collection. And I'm just happy to pick this up. This one is going to be sent to CGC, so we'll see what it comes back in a future video. Alright, we're going to start getting into some slabs now. So next up we've got Goofy Comics number 29. This is published from Standard Comics in December of 1948. Ken Holmgren, Jack Bradbury, and Frank Frazetta art in CGC 8.5. So this was shown in another one of my videos in the past, but here it is again. Love that book. The cover just makes me laugh, and I got an unbelievable steal of a deal on this Golden Age 8.5 CGC. There's only 2 of these on the CGC Census, and the other one is actually graded higher than this, so pretty interesting. All right, next up we've got essentially a magazine, a 96-page issue, although the size of the book is actually a Golden Age size, but CGC put it in a magazine size holder, or maybe it was submitted that way. But we've got World's Finest Comics number 8 from winter of 1942. Love that book. You've got Superman, Robin, and Batman standing there in front of a crowd with a sign that says "Sink the Japanazis" with bonds and stamps. You've got some writing. It looks like there was a kid named George who owned this book at some point and really, really loved it. So, you know, I just like the history behind this book is just amazing. You know, it's got a lot of handmade love to keep it together, essentially, and awesome piece of history there. All right, next up we've got some more pre-code horror books. This is Baffling Mysteries number 7, put out by Ace Magazines in March of 1952. Look at that thing. So obviously this is a low grade is better than no grade scenario, but I think this book presents very, very well for its grade. And it's a particularly rare book, so I'm happy to have that book in my collection. And we've got next Shock Suspense Stories number 7. This was also shown in another previous video. This is a New York Comic Con 2018 pickup of mine in a CGC 6.5. So it's a classic Al Feldstein Electrocution cover. EC Comics, of course, pre-code horror awesomeness right there. And what was funny is when I picked up this book at Comic-Con in New York, I without actually knowing in advance, after we completed the deal, myself and the dealer, the guy showed me what his Instagram account was, and I was like, oh, I think I follow you. And then he was like, oh, what's your account? And I said Comic Books NYC. And then he was like, oh, I follow you, you know, I like your taste in comics. So I just thought that was pretty funny, that we had already sort of, you know, been following each other. And I was happy to add this to my collection, and I'm sure he was happy to sell it to me. So IG Comic Family, there you go. Okay, so here's some more books in my Alex Schomburg cover collection. Again, one of the great Golden Age cover artists and my favorite. So here is Thrilling Comics number 53. This is from Better Publications from April of 1946. It's a CGC 3.0 with off-white pages. You can see the craziness going on in that cover. I just love these covers. I mean, Schomburg is a master. Next, we've got Thrilling Comics number 65. So this is from April of 48. Another Schomburg cover. This is a CGC 8.5. Amazing. I love this book. Super cool. All right, and keep going. Next up, we've got Wonder Comics number 14 from Nidor Publications. This is from October of 1947, off-white to white pages. It's a CBCS 5.5, and another Schomburg cover. Another book with this pose, which is all over my collection. Of course, I'd love a copy of Startling Comics. You know, the robot cover, the Schomburg cover, 49. That's probably my ultimate holy grail from the Golden Age, and haven't been able to add that to my collection just yet, but I am looking for it. But happy to also have this amazing Schomburg cover. Alright, so this I consider a Schomburg grail. This is Fighting Yank 23 from Nidor, January 1948. You know, it's a pretty awesome presenting cover, but this book is rated a 0.5 because there's half of page 7 missing. So got a hell of a price for this, got a hell of a deal on this. And you know, as far as Schomburg covers goes, this is up there. This is one of the grails, I would say. A classic cover. As you can see, you got some hooded no-gooders up in this cover, but super awesome. Super happy to have this in my collection. This is one of my favorite Golden Age books in my collection for sure. And then finally, this isn't the only other Schomburg book I have. I've got a couple other raw ones which I didn't show in this video earlier when I showed the raw books, but this is probably my favorite Schomburg cover in my collection as of right now. So this is Startling Comics number 38. This is from March of 1946. So this is the famous hypodermic needle cover by Schomburg. This is a CGC 5.0. And you can see there the needle and the girl on the table, the knife. There's just a lot of craziness going on here, as you would normally see with Schomburg covers from the Golden Age. But this is my particular favorite one that I have in my collection right now. Super happy to have this book. I'm gonna start getting into the DC, the rest of the DC books. I showed World's Finest number 8 earlier, but didn't realize I had that out of order, but what are you gonna do? So this is the only Golden Age Action Comics book in my collection. No, it's not Action 1, but it is Action Comics number 40, which is the first appearance of the Star-Spangled Kid, and Stripesy in 3-page preview. And it is a 0.5 off-white pages. Again, low grade, better than no grade, especially when it comes to Golden Age. When it comes to Golden Age, 0.5s, incompletes, restored grades, conserved grades. I have, you know, at least a few of each example in my Golden Age comic book collection, and it doesn't bother me one bit. So there you go. Awesome Superman cover. You know, again, not the greatest quality book, but I'm super happy to have an early Action Comics in my collection, and just love that book. Speaking of Superman, though, I also have a Superman proper title in my collection from the Golden Age. This is Superman 11. It's a 5.5 conserved off-white pages. It's got a Fred Ray cover, and it's a yellow Golden Age cover, which I love. So again, this is an iconic Superman cover in a 5.5. You know, the Breaking of the Chains classic cover, which Neil Adams would later go on to pay homage in the Bronze Age. I believe that's Superman 233, his cover, but which I also have, and I've shown in a previous video as well. But awesome, love having this. This is my only Superman solo title Golden Age book in my collection, and I'm just beyond happy to have it. Love this book. All right. So also from DC Comics from spring of 1943, we've got Boy Commandos number 2. CGC 405, slight restoration. There's only tape on the interior cover. This is Boy Commandos #2, and this is the only Hitler cover in my comic book collection, my Golden Age collection. And as you can see, you got the Boy Commandos there giving Adolf the bum's rush. And then there's another mention of war bonds and stamps. Just a cool cover to have. They're just showing Hitler the door there, and it's such a awesome throwback to a specific era from American history. So I love having that in my collection. Okay, so moving on, we got some more DC, this time literally DC with Detective Comics. We're going to get into my Detective Comics Golden Age collection. So first up, we've got Detective Comics #60, which is the origin and first appearance of Airwave. Also features a Joker appearance. This is a 4-0 conserved, and it's a Fred Ray and Jerry Robinson cover. So here you go. Awesome throwdown going on that cover. Okay. And then we've got Detective Comics #48 in a 3/5 restored. This is the first mention of the Batmobile and Gotham City with a Bob Kane and Jerry Robinson cover. Look at that. Super awesome book. First mention of the Batmobile. How cool is that? Okay, and next up we've got Detective Comics #46. This is the Death of Hugo Strange. It's another Bob Kane cover. This is Universal Grade 5/0 with off-white to white pages from December of 1940. It's Detective Comics #46. Just so cool. An unrestored book. Awesome Batman. And finally, this is my lowest number Detective Comics issue, my collection, and my favorite Detective Comics issue in the Golden Age collection, maybe even of all the Detective Comics that I have. And it's Detective Comics 42. This is a Bob Kane and Jerry Robinson cover and art. It's a CBCS 5/0 with off-white to white pages, but it also has the check mark, which means it presents better than a 5/0. So here we go. Again, it's Detective Comics #42. I love that Batman cover. I love how he's got the smile on his face a little bit, but it's that same kind of like imposing figure kind of pose that he has in Tech 31, but it's not quite as evil. It's a little bit more of a smirky vibe, and then of course you've got Robin on there as well. But there you go. That's probably one of the crown jewels of my Golden Age collection right there. It would, you know, well, what else can I say about it? It's just a really, really awesome book. Okay, and finally, to wrap things up, in my 25 Golden Age books is some Marvel timely stuff. So first we got Marvel Mystery Comics #70. This is a 5/0 with white pages, CBCS. It's a Vince Alessia cover. Probably didn't pronounce that correctly, but it's a Human Torch cover, and that's sort of what I was going for with this pickup. And it's just a super awesome looking book. Marvel Comics #70 from March of 1946. Okay, so next up, this is the first of 2 Captain America Comics Golden Age original Captain America run books that I have in my collection. This is Captain America Comics number 20. This is Sid Shore's cover, story by Stan Lee. It's a World War II cover. There's a lot of action. This is definitely one of my favorite covers in the entire Captain America Comics run. This is a CBCS 8.0. Presents amazingly. 8.0. I mean, just look at this thing. Wow. Right? Look at that action. Classic World War II cover. Lots of eye candy there. All right, and then this is going to do it. This is going to wrap it up. This is my second Captain America Comics book in my collection. This is my favorite one. This is a Schomburg cover. Saved it for the end. So Schomburg and Captain America Comics, what a great combination. And this is Captain America Comics number 51. This is a unrestored book. It's a CGC 4.0 off-white to white pages. And it's from December 1945. So it's Captain America Comics number 51, Alex Schomburg cover. And this is going to wrap up my top 25, in no particular order, Golden Age comic book collection. And just look at that awesome pose, or just that leap that Cap's taking, and then you got Bucky there. And there you go, guys. Look at that. That is it. That's going to do it. Congrats, Tony, again, on all your new subscribers. Go subscribe to Tony Sanders. I hope this video wasn't too long. Alright guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out my Golden Age comic books. I hope you enjoyed watching them. I consider these some of the pride and joy of my collection. So take care. Have a good one, guys.